Hi, I'm Phoebe.
And I'm Stephen.
And we are
Just Another Knitting Podcast.
Welcome to our returning viewers and welcome to anyone who's coming for the first time. We're Phoebe and Stephen and we're knitters from Christchurch, New Zealand. We tend not to muck around at the start but just get straight into it. So if you have any questions for us, put them in the comments below. Otherwise, we're just going to crack right into it. Starting with what we're wearing.
Yeah.
Stephen is not wearing knitwear.
No, it's a very hot Sunday afternoon today in Christchurch, and for us it's 25 degrees Celsius.
For some of us that's warm, some of us not so much.
Some of us that's unbelievably hot, so knitwear is not on the agenda today.
So no knitwear for Stephen. We're having, do they call it an Indian summer? I don't know why it's called that, but a warm autumn. It's been autumn for a couple of weeks, but we often get warm weather in March, which has been lovely. I was going to say, actually, we filmed on a Wednesday our last episode, and honestly, I had saucer eyes. I was so tired from work. Filming on a Sunday feels glorious by comparison.
It's much more relaxing.
Much more relaxed. I've had a busy day, but nothing like I have at work. So it's feels much more pleasant. And anyway, but what I'm wearing?
Yes, what are you wearing?
What am I wearing, I hear you ask? I'm wearing the Tulster tee by Rebecca Clow. I talked about this last week about the possibility of making one. There's some yarn in the back here, this here, that I got from Maker in Melbourne when we were there. It's black wattle yarn, and I'm planning on making another Tulster, and I asked whether there were other favourite teas people had, and oh my gosh, I got some really great ideas, including a Kate Davies one, which I forget what it's called. But I will put it in the show notes. It has like lace panels down each side, which looked really nice, and fingering weight yarn that I was kind of thinking maybe I could make that with it as well. So now I've got options and possibilities, and I'm on a bit of a Kate Davies kick at the moment. So So wearing my Tulster, dreaming about Tulster or other potential t-shirts that I might knit, but I've got a lot to knit between now, before then anyway. So
summer weight knitwear.
Yeah, that's what I'm wearing. Short story long.
So what else has been going on, baby?
Well, we just wanted to mention at the start of the show that we'll talk a little bit at the end about the Wairarapa War Weekend, we're going next weekend. Yes. We're actually going on Wednesday night. We're flying up to Wellington and then driving to Greytown, which is where it's being held. Very excited. Very, very excited. Yeah. I've never been to Greytown.
No, neither have I. I mean, we've travelled all over New Zealand.
And the world.
And the world, but we seem to have missed Greytown, so...
Yeah, and... It's so funny. People either have never heard of it or they're like, oh, Greytown is great. You're going to love it. So, yeah, I'm really excited.
Yeah,
but anyway, we'll talk a little bit more about the actual weekend and how it will work and what we're planning on doing at the end of the show. So stick around if you're interested in that at the end. But let's get straight into finished objects.
Yeah. It's only been a week and a half.
It's like, oh.
I can't even go eagle feathers are finished objects because... all of my eagle feathers that I have finished are actually a part of my whip. So you'll get to see them all very shortly. What
a treat. Okay, but I do have a FO.
Yes.
First things first. So I had almost finished this on the last episode. So this is the Lady Catkin Pullover by Fox and Foe.
Oh yes, that's the one. Yeah.
This is knit in Cecia, Mistral and Vivian. So Vivian is the mohair and Cestral is a 4-ply superwash. It says it's unshrinkable. I don't know about that, but I love this. I put it on. I wore it to work during the week, and I felt so happy with it all day long. It's just such a happy colour, and it was really cosy because we had a couple of cold days during the week. And I really love the lace on it. It's definitely going to be a winter staple for me, I think. I just love. And annoyingly, nobody commented on it. Everyone's used to seeing me in different sweaters all the time. And I think one person said, oh, new sweater, new knit. And I was like, yes. But hardly anybody noticed, which is always annoying when that happens. Anyway, so that's my FO.
Too much of a good thing.
Yeah, well, I do have a lot of... I guess I have a lot of knitwear.
Everyone has to remember exactly what you have in order to remember what's new and what's not. So.
Yeah, and when you've got lots, it means you put them on a low rotation, so they reappear infrequently. Anyway, so I would, if you like a lace yoked top down in the round garment, I highly recommend. It was a fast knit, very easy. The lace was really easy to understand. The bobbles, which kind of turned into some kind of weird line, were hard to do, but actually not that bad. And I think they look really nice, frame the lace really well, and the rest of the garment knit up really quickly for me. So I highly recommend the pattern and the garment, the finished object. Yay!
Hurrah.
Oh, and then...
All right, and then?
Vega vest.
Oh, the Vega vest, yes.
So, guys,
what happened?
Well, the show last time, I was like talking about how hard it was, and I like, if you watch the show, the look on my face, like I'm just we watch
it back.
Yeah, we watch it back afterwards to do all the bits. I could see my face going, I need to frog this. And I could see that ticking over in my mind, because I actually said it. I said, oh, I should just frog it. And I meant it as very offhand, and I never frog anything. Like, I am a finisher. I like to get things done. And as soon as I said it, and actually before that, when I said how much I wasn't enjoying it, I'm like, why am I doing this to myself? And we finished the show, and then I left it, and then the next evening, I decided to frog it, which I'm so sad about because it's such a lovely pattern. I really liked the finished object, but there was two things, and I think the two things together is why I frogged it. I don't mind knitting hard things. Like, I complain, but I get them done. Like, I push through and I get on with it.
Yeah. Let's be honest, I think you probably have more colour work jerseys and sweaters than what I do. So even though I like them, mine take a long time. But
for some reason, I just didn't like this colour work. I just didn't enjoy it. So I think the combination of not enjoying the colour work, I love the yarn, I love knitting with this yarn, I want an object with this yarn, but the other thing that I think that was bugging me was I knit the Stockholm V-neck slipover by Petite Knit, and while I like it, I don't think I have a place for a ton of them in my wardrobe, and so I don't know how many more of these I would actually wear. And that was what was going on in the back of my mind. I'm like, I'm not enjoying this, but not only that, I don't know how much I'm going to wear it. I don't know how well it will fit in my wardrobe. And if I was going to knit another slipover, I don't think this is the one that I want. And so when it really came down to it, the fact that I wasn't enjoying knitting it, and I wasn't even sure I liked the finished object, I really love it, but I don't know if it's for me, and those things together made me think, what am I doing? Why would I do this?
Yeah. Also, the other thing you mentioned, I remember you said to me, was that if you actually go ahead and knit this Vega vest, you're going to consume a lot of yarn that you love as well, and that's yarn that we can't get anymore. So.
Yeah, like, I'm in love with this yarn, so if I knit it up, I can't knit it into something else. Like, I guess I could frog it again, but how many times can you do that before you ruin it? Yeah. Particularly in colour work. Yeah. Yeah. Whereas, exactly, that's what I said. If I frog this now, I can rescue the yarn and actually knit it into something I know that I'm going to wear. So I have a couple of jumpers knit in this yarn they're on high rotation on my wardrobe. I wear them all the time, knit in the same colours.
Yes.
So frogged, yeah.
Gone.
Very rare for me to frog something. Have I ever frogged anything before? I think I don't know if I ever have.
I have a feeling there might be one
thing.
but I can't remember what it is.
The Bloom.
It was so long ago.
The Bloom sweater by Andrea Murray, it was the yarn. It had micro striping through it that I didn't like.
Yeah, definitely for a bat.
Yeah. So that's the only other thing I've ever frogged, and that was recent. It's becoming a pattern.
It is.
Okay.
Sorry, something's bugging me.
Hopefully it's not a moth.
I don't know. Let's hope not. Right.
Anyway. So, and no FOs from you. So let's move on to whips.
Whips. Those I do have.
Yay, you start.
Which one? Okay, let's start with the one that we can show. So I mentioned before that I didn't have any finished eagle feathers. That's because I've now fully completed the first 2 rounds of feathers on the eagle collar by Alice Starmore. So the next step is to start on the feathers for the 3rd round, which are the smaller ones, and they are getting smaller and smaller, so this whole process is getting faster and faster.
So there's 3 layers?
There's 3 layers of feathers that look like this, so and then there's some smaller triangle feathers, so there's effectively 3 rounds of little triangles that also follow the same kind of feather construction. But this is what it will look like. We're kind of getting there. It's really cleverly put together. I've said this before. The construction of it is very smart. The way that the feathers actually hide the ends and the weaving in of the ends and the seams and everything underneath, and they cross over. So again, if you're, at the moment, if you look closely, there's perhaps a little bit of stockinette that you could see peeking between the feathers, but another feather coming down over the top is also going to hide that. And if you're on gauge, I was thinking about this as I was knitting them. Gauge is actually really important for these feathers, and I've been lucky enough to be exactly on gauge with the feathers, because if they're a little bit big, then you're going to start to see the bits in between as well. So they're lying really nicely, they're lying flat, the edges are firm. I couldn't be happier with it at the moment. So
I'm going to love it. So I've been wearing the She Shader, which is knit in the same yarn, and they're not a set, but they will go really nicely together. I was going to wear the She Shader today.
Too hot.
It was a wee bit warm for that.
Yeah.
But I'm really looking forward to being able to wear them both together in the winter time.
So yeah, I've made some pretty good progress on the eagle collar. So
yay.
Looking forward to. Gosh, I might almost be able to finish it over the next couple of weeks. So
that's big talk.
That'd be good. It's big talk, but as the leaves get smaller, they get faster. So.
True. But it's all of that putting them together and knitting them all together and then weaving in all the ends.
Yeah, weaving in all the ends. There are a lot of ends. Believe me, it was like. It
was a whole evening.
It was, and it was interesting too because I was kind of wondering. You weave the ends on the feathers, like the centre end first, and you leave the little coloured ones to the end, and I was kind of wondering why. And then once you've got them all joined together, you actually weave the coloured ends into the feather beside it, and so it actually helps cinch them together.
Holds them together.
Yeah, so it closes up any gaps, so you've got plenty of opportunities to actually sort of massage the construction to make it look at its best. So. Yeah, so no, really clever. Enjoyed it.
Pretty. Shall I do one, or do you want to...
Let's go alternate because, after this, there's perhaps not that much left for me to talk about.
Okay, so after I frogged my Vega vest and then finished my Lady Catkin, I started on the Sarkle by Kate Davies, knit in Bohemia. This is the colourway Old Bow. So it was so funny. I was like, I don't like bottom up, blah, blah, blah. And then also almost in the same breath said I really love Kate Davies, and she almost always knits bottom up. And for some reason I do not mind Kate Davies bottom up knitting.
I think you're biased.
I think so. She gives really clear instructions, which helps. It does make me a bit nervous. Like I have no control over how long this is going to be. So whatever it comes out is what I'm going to have to live with, which that makes me a wee bit nervous. But I trust Kate. Anyway, so this is Sarkle and from the book Sark, and it's a bottom up lace yoke sweater. It's knit with slip stitches, so it looks like cables, I guess, but yeah, it's all the patterning is all done with slip stitches. And so yeah, I've knit very boring body, so you knit up the body and finish that and then knit the sleeve. So I've done one sleeve and I'm up to the second sleeve, so this was today's effort. I've been out all day actually, so a little bit of last night, a little bit this morning, and so I've just got to get the two sleeves finished, and then you join the sleeves to the body, and then start the interesting part.
And what an amazing colour!
Oh, so beautiful!
It's so intense.
Somebody asked me what colour I thought this was, and they said they thought it was persimmon.
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 Like the fruit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, what colour do you call that?
I would have called it a persimmon, but that's just me.
Would you actually have called it that though?
I wouldn't. Oh, would I have called that colour persimmon? No. I'd have called it orange. You know how I go? Brown, orange, green. Yeah.
I would have called this orange.
I
guess like
orange.
A bright, dark coral. I don't know.
Yeah, it's really, really intense, whatever it is.
Yeah, I have I actually have a jumper in this, my twigs, which is in this colour and this colour and this yarn, which I absolutely love and wear all the time. It's the same colour, old bow.
I think I like that, even though it's a different base. So I think I like that colour on that base better.
Yeah, it's a bit more
it's brighter.
Plain. Yeah, it is. Yeah. Anyway, I'm really looking forward to wearing it. I like wearing bright colours. So I should have that finished. I'm hoping to get it finished while we're away. Yay.
Awesome.
So that's my FO, my whip.
Well, my other whip, I'm also been knitting on Glenesque. So it's currently on hold at the moment because both Glenesque and Eagle Collar require 3.2mm needles. So
and you've only got one set of needles.
I've only got two, but at the moment Eagle Collar requires two. Very shortly it moves to 3mm needles, so I'll be able to free them up and get back into this. So this is where I'm up to. I've almost finished most of a single repeat. It does like to curl at the moment because it's smaller at the top than it is at the bottom, but I've now gone through all the colours. So we have a full colour exchange at the moment, so it's gone through the golds and the dark blues and then the brown shades, and we've got this intense mid blue in the middle, and then that really is the bold striping that forms a part of the Glenesque pattern. So, and that's ultimately what it's going to look like. He says as he saves himself the job of putting up a picture. So it's a nice jersey. I'm really looking forward to getting it, and it should be complete about time for winter. So I'm pretty sure I'll be wearing it quite regularly this year.
Yeah, the colour works looks really good. They're really rich, deep colours, aren't they?
They are. I thought initially that they might be too dark.
What do you mean too dark?
Well, they kind of run into each other. There's not a lot of contrast. So again, I haven't actually tried it yet, but I think it'd be an interesting experiment is to try that black and white photo test just to see how the colours contrast with each other in terms of the contrasts. But no, the overall result is very pleasing.
Awesome.
Yeah, so that's what I've been knitting on, just the Eagle Collar and Glenesque. So.
Yeah, so I guess this is the thing that, typically I'm a monogamous knitter, so I just have the one whip. I do have a baby hat, but I always have a baby hat on the go, so that's not even exciting to show you. I think I actually showed it last time. It's just my filler. But other than that, I've got no other whips on the go at the moment.
Been a quiet time.
It's actually nice. Like it makes me anxious to have too many whips on the go. And I think once I get past 3 or 4, I'm like, I have to finish these before I move on to something else. Otherwise I get really anxious. Whereas you like to have multiple whips.
Well, I like a couple. So I could go for more,
Yeah.
as we might see shortly. And I was a little tempted to, I talked about, what did I talk about last time?
Buying a kit.
No. Oh, I didn't do that yet. No, the petite knit pattern. Easter, that's the one. It just slipped my mind for a moment there. But
you haven't cast it on yet, have you? You've just done
actually, I was going, as I was digging through looking for my other whip, I actually have cast Easter on. I cast it on a wee while ago.
And you forgot.
I might have forgotten about it. I haven't done very much. It's about yay big. But then I've been very tempted to go and cast it on. So now I realise I don't need to.
That's funny.
So
I was like, oh, I should cast this on. Oh, wait. No, yeah. I did cast it on already.
I've already done the ribbing on the collar and half the first pattern repeat.
That's hilarious.
And maybe a few short rows. So.
Oh, okay. You'd hopefully have finished the short rows.
I don't recall.
Oh my gosh. If you're halfway through short rows, how would you ever figure out where you were up to?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Or maybe it's the back triangle thing. I don't know. Does it do that? Anyway.
Not my pattern.
It's the sweater, man. If you've been tempted.
Chaos.
So far, I haven't picked it up, but it could happen. So, yeah.
This is the other reason not to have lots of whips that you leave to languish. But anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I reformed.
We will come on to... I don't think so. We'll come on to languishing whips in a minute. What else do we want to talk about?
I don't know, have we been buying over the last couple of weeks?
Oh, yes, acquisitions. So, I had a Ravelry conversation on the Ravelry messages with a viewer, Annie, who's in New Zealand, and she was asking me about destashing, and I'm like, okay, what have you got? Because I was kind of interested in maybe getting, she had some Bohemia to destash, which is this yarn, and I picked up from her one ball of this, and I don't know if it's the same batch, but honestly they look the same. Colours are very consistent, so stoked to have another colour of this, because I didn't quite have enough of this to knit a sweater, but I think with one more ball I could potentially knit a garment out of this, so I'm hoping I'll have enough. I need to weigh it all and actually check how much I have, because I've got some partial balls now. Anyway, so I got that, but also 14 balls of this, which I am so bad at this. I'm in love with this colour, and enough to knit a decent sized jumper of it. They're small balls, so they're 50 grams, is it? Yeah, 50 gram balls. And so you need a decent chunk of them to be able to knit anything decent. So 14 balls of this would definitely give me a sweater quantity. And so this is Bohemia Sport, or called Bohemia Light on some of the labels. And it is 45% alpaca, 45% Polworth, and 10% possum, New Zealand possum. Absolutely beautiful, and I'm just, it was all I could do not to actually cast something on in this colour.
It's a great colour. I mean, so it's
tarnished.
It's like blue or
green,
teal, but it's like a warm blue. I mean, a lot of you've talked before about how blue's not really your colour, and you thought you would try it, and some of the blues that you've tried, the powdery blue ones are nice, but they're kind of cooler blues, whereas that's a very warm, inviting blue. It's kind of like enticing you to pick it up and knit
sure
with it.
Is. And I just know that if I knit a garment in this, then I will wear it. Like, I'm keen to knit, I think I'm just going to knit a basic top-down raglan something that's really wearable, just a basic pullover that because I just wear them. They're just nice and warm in the winter time. So anyway, very happy to have 14 balls of that. And then I got 4 balls of this colour, which is definitely not my colour, but I like it for doing colour work. So it's good for mittens, or I want to knit a couple of hottie covers. I've got one in my queue, so I might actually use this for that. And I quite like the idea of knitting colour work in these 2 colours together. Like Ukraine flag colours.
Oh yeah, it is too. I was going to say that combo looks familiar, but
yeah. So might be keen. I've got hot water bottle cover, Kate Davies hot water bottle cover. I think it's called Poochie.
Poochie, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've seen that one. Yeah.
Or Pooch. Yeah, that's in my 20 and 25. So I might make it out of these 2 colours, and then just a couple of others thrown in. So this one's. And these are really good for colour work. I was keen to have lighter colours because I have dark colours. So tourmaline, and that looks like bone.
They're really desaturated.
Yeah. Yep. So nice kind of neutrals, which go really well with other colours in order to create good colour work where you've got the contrast, which I don't have a lot of colours to contrast with other colours. So, yeah. Nice to have light colour contrast to do like mittens or hats. So I'm happy to have 20 more balls of Bohemia Light or Bohemia Sport. Very happy to have that in my stash.
Yes, I remember coming home during the week and seeing a giant bag of yarn sitting on the table going, now, is that more yarn, or was that the stash purchase that we'd previously mentioned? So
yeah, so thank you very much, Annie. I'm really going to enjoy knitting with that, and I don't think it's going to stay in stash for long. Like, I'm really keen to knit it up for the winter. Around my 20 and 25. I need to get a wee bit further through my 20 and 25 plans before I start knitting with it, but I am keen to knit with it. Yay.
Hurrah.
So that was my only acquisition.
Okay. Well, I didn't acquire anything. I almost
No.
did. I did walk into a yarn shop during the week, but
You went to get flocked?
I did go to get flocked.
Looking for anything in particular?
I actually was looking for another set of 3.25mm zings, but no, there weren't any available, unfortunately. So.
Yeah.
But there was a good supply of different yarns in there that I
They've got
hadn't seen for a while.
Brooklyn tweed. Did they have any Brooklyn tweed in?
Not that I spotted. So.
Oh yeah, because they have been having it in.
Yes. So I thought I might go and give that a squish.
I'm not sure you can get that anywhere else.
That's the only place I would know of in Christchurch anyway that would stock that. So anyway, I thought I might give it a squish, but couldn't see any.
But unavailable.
No, too popular maybe. Who knows? So anyway, not that I want to buy any more juicy quantities of yarn.
We are trying to destash. It's so hard though because there's so much yummy yarn out there.
Everything is so tempting. So
and it's kind of like I saw a meme the other day of I have lots of yarn and I have lots of patterns, but do I have the yarn for the patterns that I want to knit right now? This is the trouble.
Well.
And that's kind of my trouble too. It's like I have lots of things that I want to knit, but it's sometimes tricky to actually make sure those match up. And the thing that I'm going to do, and we kind of talked about it a little bit last week when we were talking about swatching, is that I'm going to, for this one, I think what I'm going to do is knit a swatch in a fabric that I like a good tight gauge, so probably like a 3mm needle, and then find something and weigh the yarn so I know how much of it I have, and then find something that I know will fit the gauge that I've swatched at, rather than picking a pattern and then trying to find gauge on it. So actually make a fabric and then find something to knit in that fabric.
Okay. See, I'm kind of the opposite. So what I normally do is I find a pattern that I like, and I've found many patterns that I like, and then I will go out and buy the juicy lot of yarn for it.
Yeah.
And then go, okay, that's my queue. So my queue consists of patterns in the whole juicy lot of yarn. So for me to go and I've already done the fun part. So to go out and buy more, it would be putting it right at the end of the queue. Although that said, I have, been known to change my mind.
And we also did stash a lot of yarn previously with no intended purpose. We had ideas about what we would knit, but no intended purpose for that yarn.
Yeah, see, I've got a full jersey lot of yarn for Timberline, and I've got a full jersey lot of yarn for Arwen.
So Timberline is by
Jared Flood.
Oh yeah.
So that's a shawl-collared, all-over cabled cardigan. Yeah. But I've since decided that I don't especially like cardigans.
Yeah.
So I have a whole jersey lot. It's like 14...
I reckon you would be better off to try a plain cardigan rather than going to all the trouble of a cable. Like, because I could knit you one. Like Andrew Murray has a plain one, which is called... It's named after a grandfather. I can't remember. But it's got that shawl collar, I think, as well. If I remember, I'll put something in the show notes about it. That I reckon you would wear.
Do you think?
And the thing is, it's an easy knit for me, and if I knit it and you don't wear it, then I would wear it.
Right. Okay.
Because I could wear it for us. Although your arms are longer than mine, but that's an easy fix.
Yeah, I mean, I generally just don't like cardigans, and that's just a personal preference thing. So I was actually thinking, because I've actually got all of the yarn to knit Timberline, but then I was also thinking when I was looking at my swatch for Arwen, and I think I mentioned it last time, that I wasn't 100% sure that I actually like the cables in the fabric on the dark charcoal for Arwen. Yeah, I've got it's in shaded in NYX, and it's not black. Yeah. It's kind of like a dark grey,
and it's kind of got that sheen to it because it's silk.
Yeah, so I was kind of thinking that maybe I don't knit Arwen in the NYX, but I was thinking it would perhaps look nicer because of the sheen and everything, and sort of a more plain sweater. But what that does mean though is that I've got a whole jersey lot that I was planning on with Timberline, which is in Rebel, and
what colour of Rebel have you got for that?
It's a light blue. It's Rebel colours are, thanks Deb, a little bit tricky to remember the names of because they don't necessarily relate to what colour they are. And
they're tricksy colours too, because Deb is very good at like in the blues and greens and where it's like an undefined beautiful colour, but you can't quite figure out what colour it is.
Well, this comes from the range of colours that was dyed and named after tarot cards.
So Ace of Discs or one of those.
So I have no memory of what the light blue... It's a light blue one anyway. But somebody in the comments from the last show mentioned that they liked my cover and they called it my cable jersey. And I was like, cable jersey? I wasn't wearing a cable jersey, but then I thought about it more, and then I thought about it, and I was like, oh yeah, Carver's got cables on it, because I'd been complaining about them last episode.
Yeah, making them all the cable crosses.
Yeah, and then in fact there was more than 18, there was way more. So anyway, then I had a look at Carver, and actually the Rebel does quite good cables.
It does.
There's good stitch definition, or good cable definition on it, and which is why obviously I was thinking about it for Timberline, but maybe Arwen, so...
Yeah.
I could maybe swatch up Arwen in the Rebel and see if it meets gauge. So anyway, things to do.
Thoughts.
Yeah.
So I guess we're into future plans.
Kind of, as we kind of...
We've strayed off from acquisitions into plans.
As we ramble about the things that we may or may want to do.
Yes. So shall I talk about my plans a little bit?
Yes.
Okay, so when I finish this next garment, I won't have anything on the needles, and I'm basically working things up my queue. So the next thing on my queue is a pair of mittens by Anna and Carlos, which I'm knitting for a friend, and I'm going to take those away with me because it's nice, easy knitting, colour work. I'm keen to try colour work. Not what I usually just do magic loop, but I want to do the kind of weird travelling loop that I do, because I do the Solbu mittens, and on the edges you kind of get the yarn puckers a little bit as you're carrying the floats around. So I'm keen to try a different technique to get those. Like I really like to be able to make a really nice salbu mitten because they're beautiful and I just want to be able to easily make one of those.
Yeah.
So I'm working on that. I don't like the small circumference knitting in the heavy yarn. It hurts my hands, so I don't mind it for socks, but it's a DK to worsted weight yarn and that's a bit heavy for me to knit with small circumference needles.
Right.
Anyway, so that's my future plan. But more importantly, while we're in Greytown next week, I had a kind of a side chat with Gudrun, and she's
As you do.
she's going to be there. She's in New Zealand at the moment, travelling around, really enjoying her Instagram of where she's been, travelling in the South Island where we live, like just up the road. But she has started, she has a podcast as well, Gudrun Johnston, called The Shetland Trader, and she casually started a knit-along for this garment, which is called the Veer, and so I'm keen to get myself involved in that knit-along. So that's the Veer Pullover, and so I'm going to knit one of these in the Shetland yarn, and not on my 20 and 25. I'm just like straying off. But what I'm doing, because I make the rules, is that I'm going to switch out the Vega for the Veer. Like
almost the same.
4 letters, starts with a V, a Shetland designer, like
Colour work.
It
looks like it's got seamed arms. Is it seamed or
No,
is set in?
Let's not talk about it. What it is that you knit, so it's got lace at the bottom, Shetland lace at the bottom, and that's colours, and then it's colour work, but it's only a little bit of colour work, and the colour work looks like it's a simple repeating pattern, which I like, and then I'm pretty sure the armhole is a steek, and then you steek the armholes, you pick up the stitches, and then you knit the arms down, and it's like a bell sleeve, which I absolutely love. That's how I did my my other one by her, in that kind of
Blasipa.
Yeah, the Bluesipa. I did it similarly. This is designed to have negative or neutral ease, but I don't know how I feel about that. I might put a little bit of positive ease into it, similar to the fit of the She Shader. Anyway, so while we're in Greytown, James is a stockist of Jameson's of Shetland wool, so I will pick out my colours. Gudrun said she'll help me pick out colours. I really like this navy blue. I like these colours, but actually I'm more drawn to kind of pinks and purples, so I think I'm going to make it in like some nice... I quite like one in pastel-y colours. Like they have one in here that's lighter shades, and I think I really like that as an option. So they have these ones here are a bit lighter, and they're browns, more kind of neutral tones, but yeah. So I'm thinking that. So I'll pick up the yarn for that. I may even cast it on while we're away. I'm assuming it must be knit bottom up.
Probably.
Yeah.
Especially with the lace.
Yeah, I think you start the lace first at the bottom and then knit. I mean, I should know these things. I should actually...
You have the pattern there, yeah.
Yeah, I should actually look at them. So that's one of my plans. Do you want to talk about your other plans? Will I just have a look at this?
Sure. Okay, so plans. There are so many. Obviously, we've got the finishing of the whips. I talked briefly about the Henry VIII that I'd like to get some yarn for and maybe make a start on that. We've already talked about Esther. We raised the pattern that shouldn't be raised because I just don't know.
Kate Davies, and we love Kate.
But it's
Davies.
a Kate Davies. Yeah, we're talking about Kate Davies. So the pattern that I probably will pull out of the whip pile is Oa. So far I've knit an arm. Look, I've even stuffed it with balls of yarn. So it almost looks like it's got an arm in it. But
it's
I mean,
so beautiful.
It's a lovely pattern, and it's knit up in the Bohemia worsted, which is Polworth and Possum, and I think it's alpaca as well. I can't remember. But anyway, it's out of stock. It's being knit up in
You can buy it on D-Stashes.
Oh, you can? Yeah.
Annie had some.
I'm knitting it up in Fog and London Town. So this is London Town, which is like a nice, consistent dark charcoal colour. And Fog, which is a nice pale grey.
So you knit more than a sleeve. You knit that.
I've also knit the entire body.
Jeez, Stephen.
So
like we talked about this, we did an episode ages ago on Frog It or Finish It.
Yeah.
And you said, I'm definitely wanting to finish this.
I definitely do.
How do you get this from being
It's knit from the bottom up. So.
Oh, so it's the same as what I've...
Yeah, once I've done the two sleeves.
It's a Kate Davies special, right?
Yeah.
But why has it not got any bottom on it?
Because it has a provisional cast on.
Oh, God. Why does it have that?
Because the bottom ribbing, I believe, is I-cord. It's like an I-cord rib or something. So I thought that would be a fun thing to try back when I cast it on. So I'm a wee bit nervous now, but...
So you're definitely going to have a go at it?
Yeah, I believe so. But maybe not until after I've finished Easter and maybe
so it's going to remain a languishing whip for a bit longer.
One day I might get excited and finish the arm. And then if I finish this arm, which also has a provisional cast on for ribbing, I might be inspired to finish the other arm. In fact, I must have almost finished it. I mean, I must be getting pretty close to the end of the...
Yeah, I'd say.
To the end of the...
Maybe you did finish it.
I don't know. I don't think so. It's bigger than that. So, yeah. So, anyway, it's a fun pattern to knit.
So that's future plans.
Yeah, I mean, both those yarns that I showed, the Bohemia worsted is a worsted weight yarn. So it's, double layer, worsted, thick, possum. I'm not even sure it's going to be cold enough in the middle of winter to be wearing that thing.
I have a Kate Davies pattern which is DK and DK, and it's warm, like it's definitely a middle of the winter jumper, but I wear it and that's probably a wee bit warmer with the possum, but it's not that much different.
Yeah, I have a yoked sweater that's colour work in the same type of yarn, and it's fine around the shoulders, and it's good in winter. It's the all over part, and particularly down the tops of the arms and things.
But you really can't frog that now.
No,
you might as well
too far.
Put it in the bin if you were gonna.
Yeah, I couldn't reuse the yarn because it's quite the yarn's got quite a halo on it, and the two having been knit together, it's they're sharing the halo at the moment. So yeah, but anyway, so. That is in the future.
Kate Davies, Love Fest.
So yeah, at some point, but so I've got a lot of options, a lot of things to think about, but they're preset, and I pretty much still have all the yarn for them.
So I've got one more little future plan, which isn't really a future plan, but so here is Ilha, which is by, I should have prepared this, Orlane. And I've heard her name pronounced many different ways. Suka.
Yeah.
I've heard it. She's French. I don't know how to pronounce that, but anyway, this jumper by her I knit while we were away. I think I started it while we were away. I knit it in yarn that we got while we were away. I knit it from Germany. Yep, and it's a wee bit short. I was being very conservative and bound it off because I was worried because I did the body and then I did the sleeves, and then I split the yarn evenly to do the sleeves, knowing that I'd use it all up. But
you've still got yarn left.
I've got this much yarn left, and I was watching a podcast today, Ali Knits Everything, and what she said something that kind of sparked a thought in my mind, and it was that sometimes you just need that teensy little bit of extra, and it's and it goes from being too short to being acceptably short. And like this toaster is short, but it still covers enough of. I'm comfortable that it goes just beyond my waistline of my pants, whereas this one is just that little bit shorter, and so it just feels a little bit too short. It's fine if I'm wearing like a dress, but I don't wear that many dresses, so I don't reach for this all the time, and it's the right weather to be wearing this jumper because it's very, like, feel it, it's so light.
Oh yeah,
it weighs nothing.
it does.
It's very lightweight, it's very soft. I would like to wear it more, but I put it on, and even with high-waisted pants, I just feel that just a teensy bit uncomfortable with how much of my waistband I'm showing. So I'm going to, in the future, sometime soon, undo this bind off, which is a sew-in bind off, pick up the stitches again, and knit until I've run out of yarn except for the bind off again. So I'll know how much yarn I need for the bind off, because once I undo the bind off I can just measure that amount, make sure I have that amount at the end, and then just keep doing rounds until I've got enough for another sew-in bind off.
So was that top down, was it?
Yeah. I should check that because I have actually done that before.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you have, I remember. That was that was the Love Note or something,
no,
it was something really light and gauzy.
It was a Jacqueline Sisolak jumper that was hilarious, and I was like, why isn't this unraveling? I was like, and then I checked the pad and I was like, oh, okay, now I know why. It was hilarious. Anyway, so but I'm keen to just do a little bit of fix up of this one to make it more wearable, because I think it's really important. Like, if you don't reach for something, figure out why and see if there's anything you can do about it. So that's what I'm going to do. And I don't know why these... Oh, there we go. These two balls of yarn were joined up together. Anyway, so yeah, I've probably got enough to do... I don't know how many more rows, but even if I get 4 or 5 more rows, that's going to be a centimetre or 2. I think it will make all the difference. And then I will reblock it, and I actually think I'll pin it longer as well. And I think that between the two of those things, and I kind of feel like if I've got this much yarn, it's worth it to me to try and get the extra little bit out of it, and to use it all up.
You won't be using it for anything else.
Yeah, it's very satisfying for me. So yeah, so that's the Eliart by Orlane Suka, which I absolutely love. And funnily, in my knitting group, one of the other women knit this in navy blue. It was just so weird. She turned up with it at knit night and she's like, haha, my new jumper. And I'm like, oh, is that my jumper? Like, it looks exactly the same as mine. But no, she had knit the same in the same colour, which was, it just kind of hurt my brain a little bit because I thought she'd snuck into my house and stolen my jumper. But she hadn't. It's just that she had one and I have one.
There you go. You guys tend to be of a hive mind when it comes to knitting.
Very much so. Yeah, we collectively knit things all the time. In my knit group, which I love, because then you get to do twinsy outfits all the time because you've got the same garments.
Yeah, or in some cases 5 or 6 people together all wearing the same thing.
Yes, we had 7 people knit the same jumper. It was a weekender crew, including 5 people who knit in the same yarn in the same colour.
Yeah, and we've seen them all together.
Yes, we all went to our wool feast together, which was kind of funny. Anyway, I think that's the end of the knitting conversation. We've got a couple of other things to talk about, so if you're not interested, feel free to disappear now. But so the first thing I wanted to talk about before I forget was thank you very much to Helen, who left this at Wild Earth Yarn for us with some ideas. So this is a map of Bendigo. So we're going to Australia Sheep and Wool show in July in Bendigo in Australia, which is about an hour's drive inland from Melbourne. So we're going to Melbourne and then we're going to go to the show. And so thoughtful, because having a map like this means that we can do a little bit of planning in advance of what we might want to see. Like she said, there's pottery and there's a Bendigo woolen mill and some other things like the cathedral, a church, all the things that Helen must know that that we enjoy seeing. So very helpful. We will use this. I like a paper map. My daughter was making fun of us. We went to Melbourne a couple of weeks ago and I grabbed a paper map from the airport because I actually really like to have one just to actually sit down and plan out what we're doing.
Seeing it all in the one place rather than scrolling
little
around.
wee map. Yeah. So, she thought that was hilarious because she's a millennial, but we enjoy having a paper map. So thank you very much, Helen. Very thoughtful of you, and we will make use of it and we appreciate it. So that was the first thing I wanted to talk about. And then the other thing, and I really need to stop talking for a sec, is Wairapa Wool Weekend.
Yes.
So take it on.
Take over. Okay, we're going to Wairapa Wool Weekend next week.
Yes.
So on Wednesday we're flying up.
So we're flying up Wednesday after work. And I've got my laptop because it has the schedule of the weekend, so just to refer to.
Yeah, so we're just going to pick up a car and make our way up, but very excited. We have got the all-day masterclass on Thursday with Gudrun.
Yay!
So we wanted to make sure we got there with plenty of time, so rather than sort of flying up early on Thursday, we decided to go a day earlier and make sure we're in the right place at the right time.
Yep, because it starts 9 a.m. That's kind of early for being on holiday, but I'm so excited about doing that. So it's a Shetland masterclass. I'm assuming she'll talk about Shetland colour work and maybe Shetland lace. I don't know. I don't have any expectations about how that's going to work.
No, none at all. It'll be very interesting.
Yep.
I guess I should take some needles.
I guess so. Yeah. I mean, I assume you need needles. Like, I always travel with needles. Stephen doesn't, but...
Yeah, I'm not always, but yeah, I'll take a variety this time though.
Yeah, good idea.
Yeah, pull out the thread and maple.
And then, so that's pretty much our whole day on Thursday. So we should start by saying that this is an event that's been run by James Herbison of Joy of Yarn in Greytown, and we really much get the vibe that it's kind of designed to be a little bit like Shetland Wool Week. So excited. In fact, I've got a couple of friends who have like, I really wanted to go, didn't realise it was on, definitely going to go. I hope they run out again next year because it does have such an interesting vibe to it with all the classes and everything. So Thursday is the all-day master class, which kind of makes sense because you have to be pretty dedicated to do that. So there's nothing else on the Thursday. So I imagine people will start arriving on the Friday. So on the Friday, there's the trader hall. So they've got lots of yarn traders, so we can go on. I don't know if I'm going to be able to not buy yarn.
Yeah, you did mention that you wanted another bag. Yeah.
So I'm definitely going to buy the Via Pullover sweater quantity of yarn of Shetland yarn. But I think, I'm brewing for buying another. I'm trying to de-stash. I'm trying really hard to not buy more yarn, but we will see.
I don't have a lot of Jamesons of Shetland.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Maybe I should have a look through for some Fair Isle
patterns.
Books. Yeah.
Yes. So then on the Friday, they have a tree planting ceremony at 11 o'clock and then a group photo for the beanie, which we've showed on this episode before.
Yep.
We both knit a beanie.
We'll definitely have to remember to take it.
Oh, yeah.
Might pre-pack it so I don't forget. It's going to be the one thing we're sitting on the plane. We get off the plane and we're going to be like,
I don't think I will do that, but yeah.
I definitely will.
I think when we get out of this room, I think we need to go and actually pull it out.
Yeah, just to make sure, because you guarantee Murphy's Law.
Start going to all that trouble to knit the thing and then forgetting it. Anyway, back to the workshops. So then there's workshops all day on Friday, and we haven't booked in for any of the workshops, but at 1:30, so we're kind of thinking on the Friday we'll probably go to the traders trading show and then go for a bit of a look around Greytown and around the area because we haven't really been in that area before. Go to I don't know where else. We'll do a bit of research on what else we can see.
There was also the drop-in centre too, right?
Yeah, and then there's a drop-in area where you can kind of sit and knit. So we'll probably spend a morning doing other things and then spend the afternoon there. And because James is having a talk called Shetland Adventures and Travel Temptations, And having been to Shetland, and James has also been to Shetland, it would be quite good to hear his views on what he thought about it. And we're kind of thinking we might go back to that part of the world again. It might inspire us to think about whether we want to go again next year. And then on the Saturday again, they've got the Trader Hall and then more classes all day and another couple of free classes, which is really nice, but most of them are workshops all day. And so probably that day we'll hang out and knit. And I'm quite keen to pick up a class if there's any spots going. There were some that I wasn't really sure about, but it kind of like if they were available on the day that I might pay to go to one of them. I'm not sure how I feel about that.
Most importantly, though, I think there's a gala dinner on Saturday night as well.
Yeah, so the class that I'm interested in is HAPS History and Techniques with Gudrun, but I don't think there's any available of that. And the other class I thought I might go along to, there was somebody reflecting on traditions of Shetland lace, which I thought was kind of interesting as well. So if they're available, yes. And then on the Saturday night there's a gala dinner which we will attend. We've got tickets for that. And then on Sunday we will be exhausted and ready to go home. So we'll just go back to Wellington at that point and
I think so.
Fly home again. So super excited about the weekend. And we'll let you know how it goes once we've been. We'll take some photographs. We're very terrible at taking photos and videos, but we will do our best to do that.
Worst case scenario, there'll be a little montage of photos. So.
Yeah, of how we found it and what we did while we were there.
Best case scenario, there might be some commentary, but I wouldn't be waiting for it.
Probably not. And I don't know if people are interested in that. We're not travel podcasters. But anyway, I think we've talked on long enough. And thank you if you're still here. You've survived a whole nother episode. And when we see you next, we will have been and gone to Wairarapa weekend. And hopefully have lots of tales to tell you.
Yes, and I might have finished Eagle Collar.
Maybe.
We live in hope.
A lot to get done between now and then. But anyway, so have a good couple of weeks and we'll see you in 2 weeks' time. Ka kite anō.
Goodbye.